Good day, dear friends. Good day. We are recovering from a night of frivolity, festivities, the fete. It was wonderful. It was a great night. Thank you for coming to the cutting room. We had so much fun. Oh my God. I'm just it's so funny because I do this on a regular basis and I talk to you so much and I do 4 hours that I don't realize it was over an hour and a half, hour, I don't know, 40 minutes straight through. No interruption, minimal notes. The information pours through me. You should see the look of people's faces from where I am. It's rapt attention. It's almost like it's not, I keep telling people, it's not comedy. It's scary. I don't know what the word is. It's phenomenal. So that's the good news. Thank you. Our dead mother, Lizzie Solak, was there. Oh my God. We had to get her off of the bar. It's like, Liz, get down. She was doing the thing called the vodka dance with the flame, with the baton twirling. I don't know. It's another story. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. We didn't have any Coldplay can't. By the way, isn't that the greatest story? Don't you love the story of this schmuck who was caught cheating on his wife at a Coldplay? Coldplay. That's what he should be embarrassed about. And he's caught, and everybody sees him, and then he gives this stupid response about it's our privacy. It's like, what are you talking about? We'll talk a little bit about that. The NBA. WNBA. Caitlin Clark turned into America's, darlings. And let me tell you also, we'll also talk about something which a lot of people don't really want to talk about. And I'm not making any intimations here, but a lot of folks sometimes in the sports biz have got to hide their own sexuality. I know you don't want to hear that, but I've heard this for a long time, especially in men's sports. If you're gay and you're trying to sell, golf clubs or whatever to people, that dog don't hunt. That's a problem. So there's a lot of folks too who are in the various sports enterprises. And that's not to say that women who are great athletes are necessarily gay, but it's true. I'm just going to leave it at that. You do also know that we live in a world of what you think you know and what we know. You see what I'm saying? There's this thing, how do I say this? There's this a part which is kind of interesting here. Let me see if I can explain this to you. There's the internet, okay? There's Fox News. There's the kind of like the underground internet, meaning, let me give you an example of something. And I'm only bringing this up not to perseverate on the gay thing, but to give you an idea. In the world of Hollywood, there are people that everybody knows is gay. Everybody. It's understood. It's you would think that it would traverse, and I don't mean gay, I mean hiding out gay, notorious, closeted, career ending, that kind of stuff. And everybody that we know knows this, and we know it through them. And I don't understand it. And just to clarify, as far as I'm concerned, I think you know this. You know what I'm about. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know why people don't come out. And the reason why I'm saying is this. You're expecting me, you as part of this woke, not you, but the woke, left, whatever group. They keep talking about this idea that I'm supposed to accept everything, whether it's binary, non-binary, this, that. And yet they hide the very fact of who they are. You would think, would you not? You would think that it would be one of those things where they would go out of their way to bring you back into the fold. You would think they would say, well, listen, if I'm telling some young boy or girl in Dothan, Alabama, go out and tell people you're gay and tell them, risk getting your ass beat. Do it. And they don't do it in Hollywood. Think about this. They're being closeted in Hollywood. What does that tell you? Hollywood, you think it'd be open. You think there would be a premium for that. You would think they would go out of their way. They're still not putting transgenders on film. You notice that? Let me spend a moment with this, okay? As I use my official White House Oval Office pencil, which we purchased, which I don't know, at the gift shop. If non-binary and trans were acceptable money making, if it was acceptable and people loved it, you would be seeing more of these on Hollywood than you can imagine. You see a few, a couple, but it's no big deal. When they did that Wicked thing, was that a big deal? The movie? Yeah. Did they make a lot of money? I don't know. I don't think people like when you violate the, how do I say this? When you violate the rules, so to speak, of nature. But I mean nature, not being that it's unnatural, but when you say, oh, here's this trans weird thing, it's not what you think. And there's a lot of folks, too, who are trans in movies who love to be scary. Let me ask you this. Why is it when a man wants to act like a drag, why are drag queens scary? They're like professional wrestlers that are scary, like Divine. Remember Divine? John Waters, that beast, looked like the skipper, like Alan Hale. Remember that? Remember Divine, shaved his eyebrows and looked like a thumb with eyes, like a fist. Just the most horrible looking person. And they like to frighten you. Why is that? If I were, let me tell you something. There was a show. Is Lucky Chang still open? One of the first places I ever went to. I don't know how I got there. It was a place called Lucky Chang's. It was a Chinese restaurant, but they were all trans. No. They were. I don't know if they were trans. I don't know if we even had trans, but they were female impersonators. So help me God, and I'm not kidding you. You would never know it. They could be what you would call a model, or they probably had better hair and makeup and collections and clothes than 90% of most women. It was the most, you've never seen anything like this. And all of them were men. And I don't mean, hermaphrodites. I mean men. But it goes to show you that they did so much attention to their looks and their makeup, and Jesus Christ, it was the most I've ever seen anything like it. It wasn't offensive. It was almost like an art form. You almost admired. It's like this is almost like Civil War reenactors. This is like men reenactors. This is just wow. Then it went from that to Divine. Where the hell did that come from? 6 feet tall with looks like Gene Simmons with a fright wig. It's like, what the hell is this all about? Where did this come from? Where does this insanity come from? I don't know. But in Hollywood, they don't promote that. If there was an actual person in Hollywood who acted like a woman, dressed like a woman, and did not look obviously like, Bronco Nagurski in a wig, people would not only accept it, they'd admire them. You would say, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to this. I'm telling you, and I don't even know if these women or men were trans or if they were just impersonators. I have no idea. There were people in the old days, transvestites, who were straight. Remember those stories, honey, about, was it Jeff Chandler? And was it Jeff Chandler, the actor? And the woman, Lorenzo Lamas' mother, Esther Williams, I think, was married to him or whatever. Anyway, this was. So what I'm saying is, and I want you to understand something. We, and I speak on behalf of the MAGA. Don't forget, this is my favorite camp, is the rules have changed. We don't care about sexuality. If you want to be a woman, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Last night we had black, gay, nobody cares. No, but seriously, you know why? Because we just don't care. We're bored. We're selfish. We don't care about you. It's not that we're that, egalitarian. We just don't care. Nobody cares. Anyway, that's that. I got to tell you this other one too. You ready for this? I'd like to say something on behalf of gender reveal. Anybody been to a gender reveal party? Anybody ever been? Who's been to a gender reveal party? When did gender reveal start? How long ago did that start? Anybody remember that? Gender reveals. When was a gender reveal? What, 10 years ago maybe? 15 to 20 years ago. Okay. Normally it would be, I don't remember anybody ever saying, hey, we're going to have a party to reveal it. You normally went, it's a boy. Remember the cigar? The dad said, it's a boy, it's a girl. You had the cigars. You gave us cigars. That was as close to it as you got. Or you would go to the doctor and say, hey, we went to the, it's a boy. Yay. And you would just tell people. Maybe you get a sonogram picture. I think they give the same sonogram picture out to everybody. It's like, what is this? It's radar. What is this thing? It's blotchy, like a weather map or something. Anyway, there it is. See one. I don't know. And then somebody said, no, let's go a step further. I think probably Party City started. It's Party City before they went on. They had parties for everything. Everything you can imagine. Having a pedicure party. Yay! Anyway. So it became another party. You have a cake and you cut it, and if it's blue, whatever it was. And I used to think, this is the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. This is just, it's a free country, do whatever you want, but it's like, come on, please. Please. It's stupid. Now I love it. Why do I love it? Why do you think I love it? Why do you think I love it? Look at this. I love this. Simeon Taka is a great point. Says, look at this. Says, Simeon Toko said, I remember when people just worried about having a healthy baby. Shows how old I am. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. They should also have a party for normal karyotype, like, hey, no trisomy 21. Hey, no Les Schneihan, no Kleinfelters, no actually, it's terrible. I'm not going to be joking about that. So anyway, now I love it. Why do you think I love it now? Why? The reason why is because we're talking about gender. If we live in a world of non-gender, of cisgender and non-gender, and if people said, well, gender, we're going to leave it blank and put X. Now we're asseverating where we are affirming the fact that genders exist, that there are men and women, and that's it. What you do afterwards is on your own. Good for you. Have a nice day. Nobody gives a shit. I love it. So gender reveals are terrific. Why? Because it's gender. And nobody's doing this purple, pink and blue. I don't know if you get purple. I don't know what color that. I know red and blue. But anyway, I'm all for it. Because we're getting back to sanity. Kids are becoming more and more right-wing, more conservative. And I'm not even conservative, but I'm glad about that. I don't want people to go into. I don't want people to be Mark Levin, but I don't want people to be Stephen Colbert. And by the way, don't kid yourself. Stephen Colbert, why the Democrats are going crazy is because they realize it's over with. This They had their chance. It was fundamentally over with. Remember, conservative stuff, and again, I don't consider myself that, but I will say this: conservative radio and whatever is almost like a Chinese restaurant. Do you ever see a Chinese restaurant go out of business? Remember West Side Chef was one very rarely. McDonald's, sometimes McDonald's, but a conservative will you'll they make money because people have the money, they appreciate it, whatever it is. Lefty stuff is really scary. Just like when we had years ago, Air America, they didn't even know about radio. It wasn't because of the message; they just didn't know radio. They didn't understand how to do radio. Remember what I'm telling you. If somebody is an interesting broadcaster, and that covers a spectrum, you could put a Satanist on. It wouldn't matter. You could put a Satanist. You can have an actual full-fledged Luciferian Satanist, and it wouldn't matter one way or the other. Okay, let's talk about today's subject. How many of you folks love the story about the woke, delusional WNBA stars demanding NBA salaries with none of the ratings? Can you believe what I am saying? Can you believe what I'm saying? Isn't this, these people, these women, this Caitlin Clark, she was the doll. She was the great wife of all these people were Angel Reese kicking her in the, because they said they hate the white girl. It was fantastic. It was the best marketing. Nobody wanted to say it, but they loved it because there was this white girl who came out and oh my God, remember that? It was always good. Whether you liked it or not, it was great TV. It was great. A great news or whatever you want to call it. It was fantastic. Remember that one? They don't know whether to stop. Why do you think that AAA ball, the farm teams make as much money? Why? Why don't you think that, preseason games make as much money? It all comes down to the money. And the reason why Michael Jordan or LeBron James or whoever, in fact, the same thing goes for days of yore. Bob Cousy and John Havlicek didn't make as much as this. Well, it's because of contracts and TV. But it's not because LeBron James is worthy of his money over and above whatever it is. That's not it. I mean, he might be worthy. Caitlin Clark may, by virtue of her play, may deserve, in terms of her greatness, might make as much money or should deserve as much as anybody else does. The bottom line is simply this, and this is important. If the crowds aren't there, it doesn't matter. If the crowds aren't there. Listen to what I'm saying. If the contracts aren't there, if the people aren't there, if the whatever is not there, you can't demand it. The WNBA is not top dollar. The fact that I'm even having to explain this to anybody is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Don't you understand this? It's not whether it's good. It's not whether AAA is better than this. It's not saying that. I'm not saying that. You're not saying that. Nobody's saying that. What I am saying is simply this. This is the most important thing. What I am saying is that it's one thing to say we want to get the same percentage or whatever, but you signed a contract. You went in there knowing what it was you were going to do and wearing the t-shirt, we want to get paid. Immediately, you're pissing your fan base off. Don't they understand this? They don't. I'm going to tell you something else about this gay thing. I'll never forget. A guy years ago, maybe, how do I say this? Maybe you'll, um, I don't know what the word is. Maybe this will come to mind. Perhaps maybe this will come to mind. But in any event, there was a guy who said years ago. He said, when you sell sports stuff, and you're selling, let's say, Callaway golf clubs, Big Bertha and UFC and all this stuff. There was one guy I heard of, and I don't know if it's true, but he's a big name, and they said, we heard he's gay, and we got to do everything in our power because they have to flesh this out and flush out while we're at the same time. And they were asking the question, how is it that these people necessarily kind of get by, get through, get whatever you want to call it? Okay. And it's a very interesting concept. It's a very interesting concept. Because if the men find out that they're sports heroes, somebody suggested golf, people with hairy wrists named, Jake with silver ID. Remember silver ID bracelets? Remember that one? They said wear the ID bracelet. They're going to be coming back. But that kind of, if you find out that this guy that you're revering is gay, it's going to kill the deal. This is reality. Now, is that fair? I don't know if that's fair. It's reality. It's reality. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Oliver Calamari, ladies and gentlemen, says WNBA and Colbert have the same problem. They lose money. Correct. Absolutely. 100%. Now, what's also important to understand for you to grasp is the idea that when it comes to this is just a joke. Stan Lipman, ladies and gentlemen, says, we're tribal like chimps. They're like bonobos. Well, what do you mean? What's the difference between a chimp and a bonobo? Let me find out. He's probably making... Honey, would you do me a favor and close this door for me, darling? Thank you. There's this idea which is critical. Let me see if I can explain this to you, which is important here. Let me see. What is the difference between a chimp and a bonobo? Would you help me here, thank you. Chimp versus bonobo. This is one of those things. I know what you're getting at. The chimpanzee versus bonobo comparison is one of the most fascinating in primatology and often used to reflect deeper truths about human nature. Both are part of the genus Pan. Chimpanzees are pan troglodytes, troglodytes. Bonobos are pan passicus. They share about 98.7% of their DNA with humans, almost identical to each other. Chimpanzees are aggressive, hierarchical, territorial, male-dominated. They wage war, form coalitions, and use violence to assert dominance. Bonobos are peaceful, egalitarian, female-led, and use sex as a conflict resolution tool. Seriously, they have sex to reduce tension, bond socially, and avoid fighting. Social structure. Chimps. Alpha males dominate, strength, intimidation, and brutality rule. And bonobos, female coalitions control the group. Social power is built on nurturing. So I think in this particular case, our reference, our friend Mr. Lipman, may be onto something. I don't even know. I'm not even sure. Again, remember, if you ever see the name Stan Lipman for anything, vote for him. It's just a great name. Rafael Legonde said, my prediction is just like Canada, they will have to cancel the Canadian Professional Women's Hockey League because the players were doing the same thing. The WNBA will suffer the same end also. I think you're onto something. There is something called equality. Are men and women equal? No. What about equivalent? Equivalent? Maybe. But are they equal? No. Do men and women get treated the same? No. Does that mean, is that unfair? No. There's a thing called different. Different. People are not necessarily equal. Stop this bullshit called equal. There's no such thing as this. I don't know what this is. I'm not equal with you. You're not equal with me. We're not the same. Doesn't mean different. I mean, doesn't mean better. Remember did you ever have Crayola crayons when you were a kid? Remember Benny and Smith? Did you ever have that big, all the colors there? They're different. They're different. It's not one versus the other. It's different. It's that simple. What's the big deal? What's wrong with being different? I don't know. I don't know how to put this into words. What's wrong with being different? Nothing's wrong with being different. Nothing. I'm not the same as you. And performance is peak. Performance. If you do better than me in a task, and that task means something to you, then the person who does better should prevail. Anybody got a problem with that? Anybody have a problem with that? Anybody? Here's an inequality. We're going to be talking about this. Have you been hearing about the Carnival Cruise Line problems? There is a problem with thuggery, savagery, out of control fighting, twerking, drinking, this bombastic, violent, horrible, weird, riotous behavior. And the people who seem to be exhibiting this, according to some interpretations, I don't know, I haven't read all the data, are young black cruise folks who, some would say, but they went there because they were told that these carnival lines were parties and, they made their, okay, fine. However, it has come to the attention of a lot of cruise folks as some of these people, these participants, were acting like animals. And I use that term in terms of violent, having sex, drugs, loud, raucous, rude, opprobrious, obstructionist music that is off-putting. There's something that is happening. Bill Pierce, ladies and gentlemen, says, as we say in pro wrestling, they don't put asses in seats. So they don't know about Nora Vincent, the self-made man. She Epsteined herself. We'll talk about them one time. It's funny you say that. I knew her, Mrs. L and I knew her very well. And I think there may have been, it's funny you say that we I'll fill you. Next time we speak, Bill, I'll give you a little background on that one. But she did commit suicide. Very, very, very sad. The bottom line is simply this. When I used to do comedy every week, did comedy everywhere. And there was one place I went, there were some great comedy clubs that were just terrific. And the comedy clubs, they have staff, and the staff works hard. Whenever they had, it was Def Comedy Jam. Remember Def Comedy? It was black crowds. They sold more liquor than you could imagine. Top shelf. No well brands. I mean top shelf, like you, Courvoisier, and this and expensive stuff. A friend of mine suggested in this particular community, this was the way some folks showed their wealth and their panache. Not with jewelry, not with labels or whatever, but in what they drank. And then Cristal later on. So however, they had to add X amount on the bill for the wait staff, because the wait staff says we're not going to work if it's deaf comedy. Why? Because they don't tip. They're not cheap. They will spend a fortune on liquor. Fortune. But they won't tip. Am I being racist? No. Ask any waitresses here? Any waitresses here? Who are the worst tippers in the world? Women or men? Women. Want to split the bill. Men love to do this thing. Typically, I'm giving that bill. I'll take care of it. Give me that. So your buddy go, I got it. I got it. The bread. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. It's a sign of, you do. I remember one time with Pat Cooper, I wanted to pay the bill. I thought he was going to kill me. I really did. He had a look in his eye like, I'm going to kill you. Remember the Tony Soprano thing? The one is, you don't pay the bill. I say, oh my God, I pay the bill. I pay. It's weird. But with women, it's like, okay, you had the watercress salad. You had this. It's true. Anybody who's been a bartender, anybody who's in the business knows the best people. This is called profiling. The best people are people who've been in the business themselves. Ex-waitresses, whatever. They are the best. They are the best. They are without a doubt the best. Okay? Because they know what this is. This is the truth. If you want to get together, if you want to have I don't know what Middle Eastern crowds are, but let me tell you something. I was at something one time where they had belly dancing and all this stuff. I mean, it looked like these folks came to party. Not wild, not raucous, but money. I don't know. I don't know if it's Armenian, Turkish, no idea. Well, interesting combination there. But I don't know. I have no idea I have no idea. But if I worked that room, I would learn very quickly traits, aspects, realities, not what I thought would be terrific. This is the way people are. There is a violence that we're seeing right now, especially seen on. Have you seen this absolute savagery that's happening at weddings and graduations and pageantry, twerking and wild screaming and yelling? What's going on here? Social media propel it. Social media propound it. Social media encourages. Social media do a lot of stuff. But what's interesting to note, out of all of this stuff, what's important to note, which is critical, is that we are seeing this on a regular basis. Make the Dream says industry night, Carnival Cruise. Don't know what that means. What is industry night? I don't know what that means, but thank you. This is we're seeing this constantly. Chipotle's, McDonald's. You can go so far as to see there was just look at the YouTube channels. Just watch how people are arrested. Oliver Calamari says 3 to 4 day cruises are cheap. Cheap creates problems. Yep. But also it depends on how you promote it. If you go out of your way to promote that kind of behavior, that's what you get. But what people are going to do is, are you saying all black people? Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Do you understand what's going on? I like when somebody does this. Public education. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. I love your comments sometimes. You'll write something and you say, what does this mean? I don't know. What does this mean? Department stores. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm writing something. Check out Paris, France. Now, everybody has been talking about what's going on. One of the problems that we're seeing, one of the issues which is so critical, is the fact that we're losing sense of class. Look at this. Remember, Unc, I used to drive a cab. I did not know that. I did not know that. How do I remember? I did not know you drove a cab. There you go. I'm sure you see all kinds. I'm sure Uber drivers see in particular things this kind of wild and raucous behavior. It's the most incredible of things. It's the most incredible of things. Um, I love the response of this. So in any event, that's that. A couple of things we're going to be talking about more on the Epstein. I think the Epstein story has kind of run its course. Be quite honest with you on that. I think it's losing its steam. I don't know where we're going to go with that one. I don't know what's going to happen next. I I know that Israel apologized to the Catholic Church. That's another story. Churches getting bombed. I mean, there's this insanity in the world. But I wanted today just to tell you that we're back to normal again. We had a wonderful time. There's Make who says, you skip one of my chats. I did, maybe for a good reason. Let's see. Thursdays are industry night in the biz. Thursdays are industry night in the biz? What is the biz? You mean cruises? What biz? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm done. Maybe I don't. Maybe I know what it is. I have no idea what this means. But thank you so much. Somebody says, it's a nice break from politics. Howie, politics is everything. This is politics. This is not a break from anything. This is reality. This is reality. You understand what I'm saying? Someone says, I worked for Celebrity Cruise Lines 10 years ago. It was great. I'm sure it was. That was Celebrity Cruise Line. Carnival might be different. We live on the west side and we can see the cruise lines, the Disney cruise and all these other cruises. You know, those river cruises, they seem a little bit, I do not understand. Cruises are the last thing in the world I want to go to. A cruise is, oh my God. Whoever came up with the cruise just did not have me in mind. The food, the sitting around, if I'm not drinking, I don't know. It's great. God bless people if that's what you want to do. Some people love it. How about people who go on cruises for the rest of their life? They want to be. Can you imagine that? Spending your life on a cruise, you're going to die on a cruise ship. You just go on your mind. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Look at this. Just women and children prisoners. What does that mean? What does that mean? What do people write? When you write these things, do you care that no one knows what you're writing? What does this mean? Women and children prisoners? What? What? Television. What about television? What? I don't know. Don't owe them anything. I'm not a fan. Who? Don't owe who anything? What are you talking about? I just love your comments. Look at this. Don't go anywhere. Bonobos are in big groups. Thanks, Lipman. You got us into the bonobo thing. You understand this? This is where we are right now. All right, my friends. Bombings, read. We're not going to read NPC. Sorry. The whole NPC thing. Really? Really? That's your name? And you had to put NPC? The picture of you, the thumbnail enough? You had to go and say, lest you not know what this denotes. NPC? Very clever. Very clever. We are overwhelmed with your cosmic limpidity. In any event, my friend, it's a Sunday. Hope everybody celebrates there we go. That's worrisome. You better run, says a bankster rather indignantly once told me, I've never tipped anyone a day in my life. That was very foretelling. You know, it's funny you say that. Tipping, I think, and by the way, tipping does not mean to ensure prompt service or to ensure promptness. No, it's been around forever. The phrase, not an acronym for any of that stuff. It's people will swear by it, but it's not true. But tipping is when there's a time when I think sometimes you go someplace and there'll be at the cleaners, there's a tip jar. I say, what am I don't understand. Again, I'm not you just got my clothes. You're not going back and forth and cleaning them and putting on the particular hanger I like. And there's no what I'm saying is you're just you're doing what you're supposed to do. Pumping gas, do you tip the guy? Maybe you do. I sometimes when it's presumptuous, when there's a jar that says tips, how about when you go someplace? Do you want to add a tip to that? Add a tip to what? Again, it's not the idea, but it's like you're missing the point of the tip. Just saying. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say. So, my friends, to you, let me say, to That's Worrisome, thank you. Make the Dream Better, Big Dick, thank you. Oliver Calamari, I thank you. Billy Pierce, my friend. Rafael Legonde. Stan Lipman, the one and only. You started with your bonobo thing, my friend. Thank you for this. Thank you for your incredible sense of perspicacity. I appreciate that. By the way, I'll take tips any day. Why? Because I'm pouring my heart out. Above and beyond the duty, beyond the call of duty for you. But that's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to do. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. It's a beautiful Sunday. Thanks for watching. Don't forget tomorrow, tomorrow, 1 to 5. I have a hard time with it. To me, it's today. But anyway, 1 to 5 a.m. WABC. Make sure you listen. Make sure you listen. Make sure you listen because we're adding a new flair to the notion of talk. A new flair, a new aspect to it. All right, my dear friends, have a great and a glorious, 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 glorious day. There's Sadie, everybody. There's Sadie. See, Sadie's got a nice picture. Doesn't she seem nice? Don't you say, oh, her name is Sadie. It's a great name. Sadie, huh? Sadie. And then we got this thing. This unimaginative, just what is this? This is like, why bother? But thanks, NPC, I guess. All right, my friends, we love you. Have a great... Is Lizzie Solak here? Bless her heart, the den mother. Didn't see her. I don't know. She was there. She was wild. You got a lot of explaining to do, Missy. It was so great to see you. All right, my friends, have a great and a glorious day. We'll see you later. Don't forget, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget, follow the legal show at Lionel Legal. And more importantly, make sure you are subscribed to this channel because people we'd lose subscriptions if they say, well, we're bots or people unsubscribe. I don't know. But 80% of the people who watch us don't subscribe. And that's important. And also like this. Liking this video just does more than you could ever imagine to put us in the HOV lane, to bring us more fellow travelers and the like. And don't forget, see this Trump thing? Do not give up hope. Because remember, he's our only choice. That's it. There's nobody else. All right, friends, have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change your meaning that sincerely. And until next time, remember this very, very important word. The monkey's dead. Show's over, sue you. Da-da.